Hi, you're listening to CINQ 102.3 FM, Radio Centreville. We're here for you.
The opinions and comments expressed are those of the host and participants and not necessarily the opinion of CINQ FM 102.3. Legal dossiers are complicated. Westmount Legal Clinic advises that you consult a lawyer. Legal cases cannot be resolved without a professional.
You're listening to Know Your Rights Legal Show on CINQ 102.3 FM, cable 88.3 in Montreal, www.radiocentreville.com. My name is Ted Wright. I'm coordinator of Westmount Legal Clinic, and this is Know Your Rights Legal Show. And today in studio we have two people. We have Bernard Corbeil. Corbeil? Or is it Corbeil or Corbeil?
Corbeil.
I wrote it wrong here. Right. And he's a lawyer, and he's going to be discussing Quebec societal mores following a recent court decision that confirms there are changes in society. Our segment producer today is Frank, and Chris Smith is here, but he's in a meeting. He will be here shortly. Bernard, we're going to talk about today the sexual mores of society. Now, we know that things change, things stay the same, but recently a Quebec decision came down that said it's okay in a certain place to have consensual interaction with the person of your choice. What do you want to say about that? What were the laws before?
Okay, the law, there's no law forbidding lifestyle swinging in Canada. What is illegal is the common body house, and the criteria is to know if the sex occurred in private or in public. And the judgment you're talking about indicate that clearly, black and white, that swinging or swing club are legal as long as sex occurred in private. So we have to decide what is private or not. And so now we have a judgment stating that it is legal. Previously, the abortion was illegal. They legalized it. Mm-hmm. Homosexuality was a crime. Okay, a few years ago, if you were a gay people, you were a criminal. And same thing for the gambling. It was illegal. Okay, they have to change all the law, but there's no law forbidding swinging, so now they don't have to change.
Before we go too far, Chris, come in. Don't wait. Chris has just come back from the meeting, and he didn't want to come in while we were on air, but it doesn't matter. We're here. Now, one of the things I'd like you to do before we go any further, like you're talking legal things, can you give us a background of your legal affairs, like what you've done? When did you start to be a lawyer?
Oh, yes. I became a lawyer in '74, and I did work in a law firm of 50 lawyers for 25 years. Mm-hmm. And I was doing insurance, civil liability, professional liability, criminal as well. And I was involved in the 5 bus and clubs as a lawyer. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that it's very important because it is the fundamental right of freedom to associate with somebody you want to share something because you have a common interest. So if you're collecting the stamps, or you're collecting the butterflies, or you're collecting the caresses, you have a common interest to share with somebody.
Yes. Now, okay. Chris has just gotten here, and what we've just discovered is that there is no law against lifestyle choices that you make in Canada.
Right.
What Monsieur Corbeil says, Maître Corbeil said that there is laws against.
Before it was abortion, it was against gambling and also against homosexuality, and they had to change the criminal
and
code.
And what about a maison de débauche? What kind of laws exist that way?
So that's
the common body house.
Common body house, okay, and the common body house is a place where you have prostitution or act of indecency. But the law doesn't give a definition of what is act of indecency.
So an act of indecency is against the law, but there's no definition of what it is.
That's right. And the Supreme Court of Canada established the rule. And because it's a very special accusation, because it's not like a murder. A murder is always a murder, okay? Mm-hmm. But what is an act of indecency? The Supreme Court of Canada decide that it depends of what is tolerated in the contemporary Canadian society.
So what you're saying is that the act of indecency is what is not tolerated by the society.
Yes, by the Canadian contemporary society.
And so that means that it can change.
That it can change all the time. Like if you remember, like I think it's in 1967, you had the black woman who came from Africa who danced with bare breast at the Place des Arts, and he has been bused, and he has been charged of criminal act like indecency, and because the police at that time said what is moving is illegal, and the Supreme Court said no, that's not what the police believe. It's what the society tolerate, that
yes,
it's legal or not.
Chris, you wanted to say something?
Well, I just had a question pertaining to this topic. Where does the Quebec Charter of Rights come in, or does it play a factor at all?
Yes, the Charter of Rights is fundamental, because if, as the Supreme Court said, that a woman, for the dance contact, okay,
yes.
The Supreme Court said that a woman can dance naked in a bar where they sell alcoholic beverage,
right.
To be touched to her breasts, to her butts, and get paid $10 for.
Right.
Okay, so, and it says it's not a common body house because it is tolerated by the Canadian society. Okay, maybe it's not moral, maybe you don't like it, maybe you don't want to do it, but you don't mind that other people can do it. And my principle is, if a woman can be paid for that, I believe that the woman who wants to do it for free has the same fundamental rights. And if she has a right to do it, she needs a place to do it, because if you have a right and no place to use the rights, it doesn't make sense.
So in other words, what you're saying is that a person who wants to do something for free, before that they were saying you don't have the right, even though that they said it's only against the law if you pay for it.
No, it's more complicated than that, because the judgment you mentioned said even that even if in swing club you got money, as long as money is not for sex,
that's right.
You can even make private. Okay, that's mean now we have a judgment stating that you can have the right to have a place as long as you respect some conditions. Okay, and that judgment, what happened, that there was no such condition. There was no membership card, there was no form to sign. Anybody can go in. Anybody just said that I'm 18 years old, and they can go there, and they had sex everywhere.
Yeah,
and
one
the
of the
judge said
police
it's not
officers-
swinging.
Yeah, one of the police officers just said he went there and there was just walked in.
That's right. Okay, so that's now the big difference with the judgment. Now we have a judgment stating that yes, it is legal. So it's confirmed what I always said, that there was no law forbidding that. But now we have a judgment stating it. Okay?
Now, this is your third time you've been on Radio Centreville, right?
Yes, I've been here, and I'm very proud to be here, because I think that's a very interesting topic. And it was for the St. Valentine's Day on Friday the 13th on the community radio here. I was here, and I talk about it because
So let me just get this straight. This is like funny.
Yeah.
For Valentine's Day, they asked you to come in and talk about swinging.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would tell you why. It's because, people need love, and people confuse love and sex. And they wonder how come swingers can be in love and share sex with other people, mainly on St. Valentine's Day. But swinging is not a love affair. It's a recreational sex. When a couple want to share something, it is an experience. Instead of cheating on each other, okay, they prepare to be honest, and it is by respect. And it is the fundamental basis of swinging.
Okay, now I have to stop you. We're going to go to music now. And remember, rock and roll is a reference to sex. So we're going to play a song. Go ahead, Marcia.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by the book, I'm a Man, That's My Job, The Philosophy of a Seducer. What is inner game? There's a lot of contradictory information out there, and one size does not fit all. Your inner game is as unique and personal as your signature or your fingerprints. This book provides you with the means to create your own seduction persona. This is a workbook, which means we will work together, and by the end, you will have developed your own personal inner game. By this, learn what it means to be a man, and what the role of the modern man in today's society is that will attract him to the woman he wants. Learn about how men and women think differently, and how to take the lead in a relationship. This book is for you at franktalks.com. From Loser to Seducer is the story of Frank B. Kermit. This book marks the triumph of a nice guy over most of his inner demons. This includes going from being a loser to managing 5 lovers at the same time, his first Valentine's date with 2 women at the same time, and getting back the one that got away. Want to learn how you can change your life? Buy this book at franktalks.com.